has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the August 6th meeting? Are there any comments or questions or concerns for Andy? With that, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 6th, 2018 meeting. Or I'll call for a motion, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion forward to approve the August 6th, 2018 minutes. Bryan?
Yep.
Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry?
Wait, sorry, did you, Jerry?
Tyson? Yes. Carrie?
Would you just call me Mayor? It'll be easier. Yes.
Didn't we go around this last time?
Pretty sure we did when I was on planning and zoning with you guys, too.
Nikki?
Yes.
Barney?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Motion carried, minutes approved.
Okay, the first case for today is a rezoning from R1 to R2 at 509 South Portland Street. Andy?
Alright, look at the screen. Recall 10 years ago, we met on this same property due to a zoning error. This lot was half zoned R1, R2. During that time, we felt it was the intent that everything along Center Street be zoned R2, so we made that R2 and left this R1. Now Mr. Walling has come back and is requesting this request in order to build a duplex on this lot. You can see he's got a rough layout here, what we're proposing. I did receive several calls on this request from some of the neighbors, some of which are here today. I'll get to them in a minute here. I did receive a call from Kara Myers, representing her mom. She received a notice. Her concern was more than 2 units on this property. I assured her that could not happen. R2 only allows up to a duplex. And then her other concern was, would this building be behind the existing, be located behind the existing houses? The way it sits right now, it would line up at the front, but it would this would extend behind the existing houses there on Portland Street. That was her concerns. Any of the gentlemen that called me, do they want to address council, or would you like me to relay your messages?
The only problem I got, it was zoned for a residential house, and I'm okay with the house. I just don't want it as a duplex. We've already got one duplex there. It gets congested on that corner with the traffic anyway, and I just don't think we need any more. So that's just my concern.
Can you have a name?
Can we have your name and address for the record?
Nick Lawson.
Okay.
The other thing, if you don't mind when you speak, if you would step up to the podium so our mic will pick you up. You don't have to now, but anyone else?
Any other comments?
Mr. Kepler, do you want to?
You're right next door.
Mr. Kepler, do you want to
Did you
go
have
up and
comments?
speak, or do you want?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Like Nick there, my only thing is what happens with this duplex when it's not in the same ownership anymore? Is this going to be somebody else that takes it over, and this neighborhood is going to be different than what it was before? I don't know. This is the first meeting I've been to. It's just a concern I had with the quality of people living there if it's not just a single residential. That's the only thing that crossed my mind. I mean, it's right next to me, so do I want anything there? No, but I understand that Gary would like to build something there too, and that's his right, but it's a narrow lot and it's going to be cramped for me, and I'd just rather not see a duplex crammed in between there. If he wants to put a house there, fine, but that's my only concern, just being too cramped in there. And I'm Trevor Kepler, and I live at 511 South Portland, right beside that, so it's the only thing I got.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else from the audience that wants to speak regarding this case?
I would like to add, Kara also brought up the point, is this location set in stone? I told her no. She inquired whether it could be built all the way in the back, and I told her no with regards to what we went through with Mr. Held there on West High Street several years ago. It has to maintain the integrity of the neighborhood as far as placement, so.
Are there any other questions from anybody on the board?
How does that fit as far as setback from the lot lines? Are we pushing that, or what?
As you can see, he's showing 10-foot setbacks, which is currently the setback in an R1. R2 would be 8-foot setback. So, like I said, this isn't set in stone. This should just give you a visualization of what it could look like. But yes, he will have to meet those if this does get approved.
That offset in front, is that a garage?
Yes.
Okay. It's all requirements. Ain't much you can do.
Mr. Rowley, do you have any comments?
Well, I'm here to answer questions.
Okay.
I can comment if you wish, but the intent is to build a duplex. As far as anything built in that lot, it's going to be close to both properties. I mean, whether it's a house or a duplex. I mean, you're going to be 10 foot off if it's a house.
You're still going to be 50 feet wide.
Off as a duplex. So I mean,
Right.
from that standpoint, it won't change. You are adding another family. I understand that.
That lot is 10 foot narrower than the other lots on Portland Street.
I mean, your duplex is 2 bedrooms typically?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be 2 2-bedroom duplexes or 1 3-bedroom house is what you'd probably build there, in theory. Okay.
I realize it's a skinny lot. It's a shame you can't figure out a way to make it look like the rest of the houses that are on Portland, because it's facing Portland, it's not facing Center Street, so it's, you know what I'm saying? I know, it's a skinny lot and you want to have garages. That's also my concern with the look of the corridor.
That is zone R2 then?
It's R1 right
It's
now.
R1.
It's R1 now?
They're
Okay,
requesting rezone to R2.
okay. I thought they said it was,
So basically, so I'm understanding, to the
I thought they
north
said it was,
is R2,
Correct.
to the south is R1. It's literally right at the boundary. But to the north, it's just one lot right now that's R1, or R2.
Everything along Center Street's R2.
Everything on Center Street is-
I know, I'm talking about South Portland.
Correct.
It's just that one that has the duplex.
Yeah,
lot.
it's just this lot 2 there.
Okay.
Which is a much longer lot, so it kind of works better. The way it's angled. Any other comments?
Andy, did you hear from any other neighbors that are not here? I mean, 3's quite a bit for that neighborhood.
No, I briefly had a conversation with Dominic outside. Other than that, you wish to add anything, Mr. Dominic, or?
I thought this was an issue that we addressed once before.
That was the 10 years ago when it was zoned 2 different things.
All right, ready to Call for motion?
Yes, Mr.
I'm
Dunn?
sorry.
What was the reason 10 years ago that we changed one from an R2 to an R1 and not the other one?
I believe
Why was that done?
Lot 2, back in the day, it was zoned half R2 and half R1. The lot itself, the way the zoning line was drawn through the middle of it. So this board was tasked with determining whether the entire lot should be R2 or the entire lot should have been R1. So they felt, since it still had frontage on Center Street at that point in time, when I reviewed the minutes, that was the feeling I got from it, was that they went ahead and said, let's go ahead and zone it all R2 for that particular reason. This lot was, the lot we're looking at right now, Lot 3A, is a separate lot. So we didn't act on that lot at that point in time because it wasn't asked, they were just asked for a clarification on this Lot 2 of Mitchell's addition back in the day.
It wasn't asked the last time?
10 years ago, they asked for the north lot,
Yes.
but this lot was not.
The other one also.
I don't remember discussing this lot back
We
then.
did. I mean,
Okay.
we not.
On both lots?
No, just,
Yes, we did. I was at the meeting.
Just the 3A?
I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go back and review the minutes.
I think I shared that with you when we talked.
Right. I thought it was just for the Mitchell's lot. I remember there was discussion, because we decided everything on Portland Street should be R1. I don't know if you brought it up then, or,
I think there was going to be discussion of bringing it back to this board.
okay.
I don't think we actually put it under review at that time. I do remember that the zoning was put through the middle of that lot, and that's the decision that Bryan talked about, why we thought it could be R2. But I don't think we had the other lot actually under review by the board.
Yeah, I think there was discussion on it, nothing
Right.
we could hear on, or make a decision on.
Actually, he wasn't actively going to build on it at that point in time, so I don't think the commission felt like they wanted to act on it then.
Right.
Any other comments? Can I entertain a motion from someone?
Is there a record of that meeting?
Yes.
Can we table this to another session and go back and look at the minutes of that meeting and see what was discussed?
Well, I know we didn't rezone it at that point in time. We let it, if it was discussed, we opted to leave it as an R1. If it was not discussed, then it was still R1. So I guess we just need to ask ourselves at this point in time, that meeting's kind of irrelevant because it was 10 years ago, in my opinion. It's just, do we want to offer this to be zoned as R2, or do we not want to? You know, typically, we look at what it does to the neighborhood and what the neighborhood feels about it. And, you know, it's up to us to try and absorb what's in the best interest of the neighborhood and the city as a whole. So that's what you guys just need to ask yourselves, if, you know, do you feel that this is going to be rezoning this to an R2 because it's adjacent to R2? Is that going to be a detriment to the neighborhood, or is it not? That's solely all we need to ask ourselves, and then decide based on that.
and I also think, in fairness, everybody showed up today, so I would hate to ask them to try to get
Come
off
back
work
again.
and redo their schedules for a daytime meeting again.
I've asked twice for a motion.
I know.
I'm just being patient.
I think we should go back and find out what happened.
I guess based on the public comment that we've had here, I haven't heard of one neighbor that's in support of it, so I typically don't make the motion, but I'll make the motion to deny the request for the rezoning.
I'll second that.
Motion on the floor to deny the zoning request. Bryan?
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yes.
Tyson?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Barney?
Yes.
Yes.
Zoning request denied.
The next case on the agenda is the site development plan review for 205 West Beemont Street.
All right. If you look at your monitors, Davlin is requesting a 30,000 square foot addition. This will be a separate building from their existing buildings. Be located just west of their existing buildings. See, they're adding on to the parking lot out front here. Building we've got down in this area. I do have updated storm retention plans that I'll show later, but that's going to be located to the south down here. A couple issues with this. The parking. Due to a mapping error that wasn't caught until recently, the existing parking is built within the 20-foot parking setback. Currently, it's about 6 foot off the line. So this property line is actually shifted down another 10 feet. What they're proposing is just continuing off the existing parking lot with their new parking. So they'll be building within that parking setback, but due to the mapping error, that wasn't caught until recently. Not sure how you guys want to handle that, but me personally, I don't have a problem with it. Brian, do you see any problems utility-wise or anything?
No, it's, all the utilities are in the public right-of-way there, so, you know, the only issue we might have is when the engineer submits their final landscape plan to our office for review, we'll just have to make sure that there's not any bigger trees or anything that might obstruct vision. Because that would be my only concern, would be a vehicle leaving, but it looks like the drive approach is at least 20 feet anyways off the curb, if not more, so there shouldn't be an issue with that at all. But, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem allowing them to continue what they're doing.
21 foot off the curb.
Right, yeah, so there would be no public utilities that would be obstructed by them continuing what they have there.
Might want to note a variance there for the setback, just so we...
We talked about that before. Yeah, when we're going through this process, I was going to ask for a variance on that, correct?
Okay. The only other issue I had with this, per code, using the parking regulations, 170 parking spaces are required based on the square footage of the proposed building and existing buildings. When I counted it up, I only counted 62 parking spaces on the entire site. That included the proposed parking. I know recently they did some parking improvements down here.
And also to the south on the entrance down to Page Street,
Right.
There's probably another 20, if not more, vehicle parking spots down there as well.
So 170 seems kind of excessive to me. I don't know how many employees you have.
We have
but
74,
74.
of which probably 7 are never on premise.
Anticipated increase with the addition?
Probably over the next 2 to 3 years, at least another 30 people.
Okay.
Maybe a couple for visitors.
Right.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So that would put us roughly around 100, which they do show on their future parking between these two existing lots. So may need to address that in the future. I don't know how you guys want to handle that right now. The only phone call I received on this one is from Grace Community Church, and they had no issue with this, so that was the church.
And then about an hour ago, I got communication that I'll read. This is from Phil Stotz representing the AMVETS. He is sorry he cannot attend, but the AMVETS voted in a meeting yesterday unanimously that they backed Davlin and Dave Swanson on whatever they want to do. Dave is a great neighbor for us and runs a very clean operation, and we just want to make sure that he knows we back his venture 100%.
Is there anyone else from the audience that's here for this case? Does anybody from the commission have any comments? Questions?
I mean, I don't have a problem with this at all, again, from the engineering office, and when we do make our motion, I would want to include in there that, you know, like we always do, that the final plan review does go through the city engineer's office as far as grading, drainage, and landscaping. But all in all, I don't have any issues. Even with the parking, I don't have issues. I know they're tight there, but they do have ample parking for what they have now employee-wise, and they're adding several spaces. So I don't know, Rhonda, if we need to address the parking deficiency from the code.
I think when you correct the setback, just correct with a variance, just include that in the variance for the number of parking spots.
Parking spots for employees plus visitor parking, and just leave it? Okay. All right.
Seems to me like the parking spots are going to take care of themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
If they hire a whole bunch of people, they know they're going to have to put a place for them to park.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just common sense to me.
Again, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if you're asking for a motion, but if nobody else has any comment, I mean, I would make a motion, I guess, number one, can I do this all in one motion with the variances and everything?
Yes.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve the development plan review as presented. Again, noting that the final plan review, as far as utilities, drainage, and landscaping, goes through the city engineer's office. I would also recommend that we allow the setback variance for the parking along the north side to match what currently exists. And I would also recommend that we allow reduced parking spaces from what the code requirement is, as he does not have enough employees to require that many spaces. So I guess with that, I would ask that you allow the city engineer to approve the final parking count based on employee count as well. Got all that, Andrew?
Yeah. Okay. Bryan made a motion to approve the development plan review with final review to the city engineer's office. Item number 2 is the setback variance for the parking, match the existing parking lot. And item number 3, a variance for reduced parking requirement.
Based on actual employees,
Based on employees.
as verified by the engineer's office. You want to repeat that? I'm joking. I like doing that to Lori.
Is there a second?
Right.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve site development review with those 2 additional conditions. Bryan?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Tyson?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Barney? Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Motion carried, development plan approved.
We'll cover the rest tonight at council.
Right.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Silence here. Is there a plan to widen the street? Because Pastor Kelly said something about you're going to have to move the sign.
No, that will not happen.
That will not happen.
I talked to Grace Community Church this morning, and I told them that 10-foot area that we found, that puts their sign back on their property, so they don't have to mess with that.
Right, yeah. It was utilities that were going to be going through their, water storm was going to be going through their area there where the sign was at. But again, the mapping error shifted everything back down, so that solved the issue.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the last case on today's agenda is the conditional use approval for 720 North Main Street for outdoor sales and displays of sheds and storage building. The owner is looking to partner with Prairie Built Barns.
Okay, we're all familiar with the outdoor sales and display due to our last couple meetings here. Mr. Mansfield is looking to partner with Prairie Built Farms to do what custom cleaners seek approval for and sell sheds outdoors at 720 North Main. This would be the old certified station. As you can see, pardon my crude drawing here, but this red line is everywhere they would want to put sheds. The front setback would be the front edge of the Moose building. I believe Mr. Mansfield is looking to, the canopy will stay, but the building underneath the canopy will be removed. The building out back here would be the actual sales office for the business. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Thad Cooper with Prairie Built, and he can answer any questions and give a brief overview.
Hello. So there's not a great site plan, and the reason is because of the nature of the business. The sheds and the buildings will be brought in, will be moved on a weekly basis, so we don't want to kind of lock in specific size building to specific location on a lot. But like Andy said, within regards to the area within that red line would be the display area for the buildings. And then, again, the office would be the existing building towards the rear for sales office.
The buildings in that area would be just for display then?
That's correct. However, they'll also be for sale. So although they're there for display, we also sell the buildings on the lot.
If you got too many in there, you wouldn't be able to get them out without moving them all out if you had.
They would have to move them around some, yes.
Yeah.
They'd be going in and out off of Main Street or Foster?
I believe it would be coming in on the road to the right. Is that Foster?
Yes.
Then yes, off of Foster then.
Where are these built?
Currently, the buildings that will be placed on this lot are built in Antwerp, Ohio. We have a factory in Antwerp.
What did he say?
Kind of size we're looking at here.
The range, yeah, there's a wide range of buildings, and honestly, a lot of that will have to do with how much space we're dealing with when we get there, but they range in size from 8 by 12 to 14 by 40. We do offer 16 by 40s as well, but for a lot this size, I'm sure we probably won't be bringing any of those out. In fact, a 14 by 40 would probably not exceed the lot. Probably a 32-foot building would be the longest we'd bring out. I wouldn't want to set that in stone because we may find that there's actually more space available once we get it set up. But that would be my guess.
Do you want to see it?
You say you're looking for at least 16?
We would like to be able to place 16 buildings on a lot, yes.
Is this the same outfit it was one out on West I Street?
No.
Different.
Different, okay.
Similar request, though, just a
Yeah,
different
similar
company.
Yeah.
That was,
I don't even remember.
is it Great Lakes?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Andrew, I know you had a note in here, item B, refer to section 116107X. Is there anything specific in there you wanted to point out to us? I mean, I know it's a very long section, but...
Should be Y as well.
Yeah, X and Y, I believe.
I'll go through it real quick here. Did I find it? X. Item number 1, outdoor display and sale of merchandise shall be limited to products which are customarily associated with the operation of principal business located on the premises. There currently is no principal business on the premises. This spot's been vacant for how many years now? 2, areas devoted to outdoor display and outdoor dining shall be located inside the rear yard and shall comply with all building setbacks and yard regulations in the district where they are located. Again, that's why I had them, told them that there's nothing in front of the moose. That would be considered the front yard setback. So we're going to keep it behind the front wall of the moose. The setback on Foster Street, they're going right over to the right of way there. That is zone C2, so the setback on Foster would be 40 feet, since it fronts a street right of way. And if that's the case, that's gonna really hinder them on what they want to do.
Yeah, that's gonna...
This building's not even 40 feet, so. Item number 3, all outdoor display and outdoor dining shall be contiguous to the principal building. Number 4, no outdoor display shall be permitted to occupy or interfere with traffic circulation, required parking, public sidewalks, pedestrian access. 5, no outdoor display shall be permitted between the front wall of the principal building and the adjacent street except for temporary displays. Number 6, no sign shall be permitted in conjunction with outdoor display or outdoor dining except those otherwise in compliance with sign regulations. 7, outdoor display shall comply with the following additional regulations. There is a lot devoted to outdoor display shall not exceed 25% of the ground floor area of the principal building. This shall not apply to automotive and rental establishments. Part B, areas devoted to outdoor display shall be paved with asphalt or concrete and maintained free of dust. I'm going to say 90% of that spot is already hard surface to begin with. Number 8 deals with outdoor dining then.
Did you just say that no more 25% of the principal building size is all they can use for outdoor display, based on that? So that principal building's 16 by 30? So you're saying they can only put an 8 by 12 building on the site, based on the regulations?
Follow the letter, well, then it says does not apply to automotive sales.
They're not in
You can't really
automotive.
consider this a rental establishment though, so.
However, the buildings are rent to own, so
It's not that way.
I think you have an additional problem because you're not referring to the outdoor operations, supply and outdoor storage under Y, which requires screening. And we previously denied a request on the same location for that reason.
That was for equipment sales, I
Board
think.
remembers that.
Is that for equipment sales? Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to bring used equipment in and have outdoor displays of it, and I do remember denying that request.
Well, that section says, all aspects of outdoor operations, including outdoor storage of goods and materials, shall be enclosed with a solid wall or fence, including solid gates. The wall or fence shall have a height tall enough to conceal materials therein from the view of any observer standing at the grade level at an abutting residential district line or public street.
That'd be a pretty tall fence.
Yeah.
would like to know, I did only receive one phone call on this request. That was from Henry Ford, and he was just inquiring on what it was, didn't have any problem with it,
So I guess to kind of summarize here, if, it looks like the red setback line is probably going to run almost down the middle of the lot, top to bottom. He probably won't be able to put sheds to the right of that store, the building, correct? I mean, because that building's probably 24 foot long, so I'd say if you move your pointer to the left a little more, you know, your 40-foot setback line from the right-of-way is going to be about right there.
Well, this corner of the building would be the setback then, since it's already there.
No. Okay, I thought you'd said it was 40
He's
foot.
trying to squeeze another 10 feet.
So it,
You just said it was.
You said it was 40 feet in, and that building wasn't even in the setback, or it was in the
For the
setback.
code, but if it's already built, it's what's existing. Just like,
behind the face of the building,
if this moose wasn't here, then this would be 40 feet too. That's not 40 feet.
right?
What is the setback in a C2 normal?
40 feet. Off front.
Side yard?
Front is 40 feet.
I understand 40 feet on the front, but not on the side yard.
Side would be 5 feet. I'm going to join in a non-residential district.
So does one of the front yards become a side yard then, since it's on a corner lot? I don't think so.
We've always treated
Not
this as two
typically.
fronts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have 40 and 40, and you'd have 5 foot on the left and the
You
bottom.
apply that to that lot. That lot's basically worthless as a C2. If you
Right.
Take 40 off of both sides. That lot's not that.
Well, at some point in time, we're going to have to deal with that, if it's ever developed.
Does the zoning say that there's a 40-foot setback on the side yard,
Yes. It's front yard.
front yard?
It
Yeah.
fronts two
You have three
streets,
front yards.
therefore it's considered two front yards.
So you'd have 5 foot on the side yard, at the bottom of the page, and 5 foot between the Moose property line, but 40 feet on both streets, because you have 2 front yards, because it's a corner lot.
You can't have 2 front yards.
But you.
You have
but
to, you do. Residential neighborhoods are the same way, you have 2 front yards. A corner lot, we don't allow one to stick all the way out to the right-of-way. The corner lot has setbacks on both sides.
What is the zoning number on that regulation?
1161.
And Andrew's looking it up.
What's the size of that lot?
That is in Schedule 115505. Oh, sorry, it's 15 feet. I was looking at the parking setback to the side yard.
So that's 15, not 40,
Not 5.
or 5?
40.
Still 40.
40 foot on the right-of-way sides, and 15 feet on the sides.
That makes that property useless to us, so we can't rent
Oh, computer died.
No battery.
There's a plug somewhere.
All right. Well, that's all right. I think we all get the picture as far as, we've got the handout here, so you're all right with your computer.
Are there any more questions, comments, concerns from the board? Matt, I'll entertain a motion. Could be somebody other than Bryan this time.
Says 30 feet.
Somewhere in the zoning regulations, it says you can build on a lot of record. And we have the lot of record. Change of occupancy from the Department of Commerce Division, Industrial Compliance, the 5D building. That clearance from the EPA. No further action. I think there's adequate parking there.
Well, I think that tells you have the right to build on it, but we still have requirements as far as setbacks and uses on those properties. So I concur, you do have the right.
And 15 foot for the side yards. The front yard would be facing Main Street. The side yards would be facing the Moose and the Foster Street. That means you gotta stay back 15 feet on them.
I think we've got a definition of front yard where it faces the street. I'd have to verify that, but I believe that does state that. I know there's some verbiage in there about corner lots
Corner
and,
lots are always handled
right,
separately.
corner lots are handled differently.
Well, really, isn't that for permanent structures? This is just for display.
I think it's still for vision is what we
Is it?
look at,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't see where it'd be different from parking a car in your side yard. Have a temporary building there, movable building.
I think what you want is 115505A, each lot, front yard. Each lot shall maintain the minimum front yard setback measured from the street right-of-way. Corner lots shall comply with the front yard setback from each lot line adjacent to a street right-of-way.
Right, that's the section in the code.
This zoning was changed somewhere along the way, and the previous zoning should have precedence over something that they implemented from that point on.
But you're asking for something new. It's not, you're asking to do something new, correct, Rhonda?
It's zoned as C2. I don't know that that's been changed. There may have been variances granted to a previous owner, but it's been abandoned. So those variances are abandoned. So if you're coming to us with a new occupation in that premises, then we need to look at the yard setbacks as is stated in the code.
Am I allowed to make a motion?
I don't know how to do it.
We either have to approve or deny the request.
General commercial.
We make a motion to approve it, and then we vote on it.
I mean, right, you vote on it however you say it, so. Go ahead and make the motion and then we'll.
I'll make a motion, we approve conditional use.
Do you want to put any stipulations on that? Since it's a conditional use, you can do that, correct?
You have to talk louder, Nikki, no one can hear you.
What, I'm sorry. Did you want to put any stipulations on that request since it's a conditional use request?
Well, I don't know, I'm so confused with this, with all the setbacks and stuff. I actually would like to make the motion to not approve it.
You can.
Well, go ahead and do
But
that.
that's the
Then
way,
word it that way.
okay, that's the way I want the motion to be, is to not approve this variance.
So you want a motion to deny on the
To
floor?
deny, yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, no, I'm confused.
Okay, so Jerry made a motion to deny the request of conditional use.
Withdrawing his former motion.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion to deny the conditional use for outdoor sales. And Nikki, you seconded?
Yes.
Sorry.
Gary?
Microphone issues.
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Tyson?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Bryan?
Yes.
Barney?
Yes.
Marv?
Yes.
Motion carried, conditional use denied.
Thank you.
Well, I think that place out on West High Street is better suited.
I do want to point out, though, regarding our next meeting,
Hey, guys, hold on, hey.
I do want to point out regarding our next meeting, they will be held at 9 o'clock. We had voted last time to have the meetings at 9 o'clock, but we neglected not to remember to do that. So the next meeting we will set it for 9 a.m. on Monday, just so we all remember.
My memory's only about this long anymore.
Andy will email.
Yeah, Andy will remind us, but I wanted it in the minutes again that we did agree to have the meetings at 9 a.m. next
Work has
time.
already been changed, so.
Apparently, everyone's memories but Nikki was short.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. I don't know.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor to adjourn. Mayor?
Yes.
Bryan?
Yep.
Tyson?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Barney?
Yes.
Yep.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned.